What has once worked before might not work again. And we get to remember this when we're moving through our experiences, because often we kind of keep going and doing the same thing, expecting different results. And it's, if we take a step back, take a pause, this is why coming into present moment, doing a practice like a shamanic journey is really effective, because it's a way of pattern interrupting oneself and saying, okay, hold on a minute. What am I not seeing? What do I keep doing that's getting me the same result, and I'm expecting a different outcome? It's like the idea that there's going to be two approaches. Often I'm too hard on myself, and I get to remember to go a little bit easier on myself and say, it's all right. You don't need to kick yourself up the arse consistently to stay at your highest peak of self-development, to be the best teacher that you can be. It's almost like I'm a little bit militant with myself, and I'm quite good at come on. And as soon as I make a mistake or have an experience, it's a little bit more base and I've kind of dipped down, I'm really quite hard on myself, rather than saying, actually, that's a necessary experience for you to experience the opposite of that. It's okay to have some dips. That's part of your soul's desire, so that it experiences those peaks. You get to do this, and that I'm more comfortable with when I'm on a downslope, and that I'm like, this is okay, rather than being a little bit hard on myself and saying, come on, move through this really quickly. I get to remember to go easy. But some people are completely the opposite, and they're really easy on themselves, and that it's their opportunity to be a little bit more kick-ass, be a little bit more harder on themselves, and be a bit like, actually, what the, let's just stop this nonsense, come on. And even though I have a tendency to be hard on myself, there are still certain moments where I do need to kick my own ass. I do need to be a little bit firmer with myself and say, come on, step up, enough is enough. And really be firm with myself. And those are the really tricky moments, because I tell myself, I should go a little bit easier on myself. I'm usually really hard on myself. And then it's the moment that I really need to kick my ass, and I don't. I just tell myself that story, and I'm not being firm with myself, and I'm going, you need to step up to the plate here. So it's a really funny one. And it's often why it's really helpful for us to have a coach, because then they can be that person for us, and they're like, hold on a moment. You need to be ass kicking yourself right now. There's something that you're not stepping up to. There's something that you're afraid of. There's something that you're not saying. Come on now, let's go. And an easy, simple way to do this is just to experiment. If you're in a situation and you're sort of at a loss, my go-to self-development exercise is play your opposites. Just do the opposite of what you would normally do as an experiment to see what would happen. So if you find you're in a little bit of a funk and you're not moving, you're not shifting, just play your opposite. So if you're in a bit of a lull, you're finding yourself really unmotivated, you're not getting stuff done, kick your own ass. Be like, right, okay, tomorrow morning, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to be really firm with myself. And then maybe a few days after, if that hasn't worked, go a little bit easy on yourself. Be like, okay, I'm going to try the opposite of that now and see if that works. And do some self-care, have a bath, take some time for yourself. Whatever that is for yourself, that's being okay with where you're at and being nice and calm and loving on your system, do that. But it's about experimenting with how you approach things, because we're not always going to know until we meet it with something. So, and also it's good to remember that actually no decision is still a decision. And most people go, well, I'm not going to decide how to approach this because I'm just so overwhelmed that I don't know. That is a decision. Not deciding to do anything is still a decision. And that's deciding to stay where you're at. So if you're doing that, do the opposite of that and just make a decision on anything. Just know that in a couple of days, if it hasn't worked, you can make a new choice. We often don't make choices when we feel like the impact is going to be so great that it's unchangeable. But everything's renegotiable. It's all renegotiable. You can renegotiate, even if it affects somebody else. Let them know, I'm going to try this because I need to try a major decision to see what kinks. If it hasn't worked, we'll renegotiate in 2 days. Is that all right with you? Great. You can get somebody's buy-in. There's always a way around, a little tweak, a win-win. We get to be open to exploring what that is. I hope that's helpful. Whoopee chang!